Everyone feels lonely from time to time, whether it's having no one to talk, moving to a place, or when friends are too busy on the weekend. However, in recent decades, this occasional feeling has become chronic for millions. Throughout the world, a significant percentage of young people often feel lonely. According to the Office for National Statistics in UK, 16-24-year-olds are the most likely to report feeling lonely often or always, with about 10% indicating such experiences. In the US, a study conducted by Cigna in 2018 found that nearly half of Americans reported sometimes or always feeling alone or left out. Despite living in the most connected era in history, many of us feel isolated. Being lonely and being alone are different. You can enjoy solitude yet feel miserable in a crowd. Loneliness is a subjective individual experience. If you feel lonely, then you are lonely. There's a stereotype that loneliness only affects people who lack social skills, but studies show that social skills have little impact on adult social connections. For instance, research published in the American Journal of Public Health found that social skills do not significantly predict loneliness among adults. Loneliness can affect anyone, regardless of money, fame, power, beauty, or personality, because it's a biological function, much like hunger. Loneliness signals our need for social interaction, a trait that helped our ancestors survive by forming social bonds. Historically, humans lived in small groups, which were essential for survival. Being alone meant death, so social rejection was a significant threat. Evolution developed social pain as a warning system against behaviors that could lead to isolation. Those who felt rejection more acutely were more likely to change their behavior and stay within the group. This is why rejections hurt, and loneliness is so painful. The loneliness epidemic began in the late Renaissance when Western culture shifted focus to the individual. This trend accelerated during the Industrial Revolution as people moved to cities for work, dissolving long-standing communities. Today, we frequently move for jobs, love, or education, leaving social networks behind. We meet fewer people and see them less often. In the US, the average number of close friends has significantly dropped in recent decades. In 1985, the average American had 3 confidants, but by 2004, this number had dropped to 2, and a quarter of Americans reported having no one to confide in. Many people accidentally fall into chronic loneliness due to busy lives filled with work, university, romance, kids, and entertainment, sacrificing time with friends. The modern conveniences like iPhones and spaceships haven't changed our basic biological needs for social connection. Large-scale studies show chronic loneliness is extremely unhealthy, accelerating aging, worsening diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, and weakening the immune system. Julianne Holt-Lundstad, a professor of psychology and neuroscience, found that loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day and is more detrimental to health than obesity. Chronic loneliness can become self-sustaining. Physical and social pain use common mechanisms in your brain. Both feel like a threat. Social pain leads to immediate defensive behavior when it's inflicted on you. When loneliness becomes chronic, your brain goes into self-preservation mode, seeing danger and hostility everywhere. Some studies found that when you're lonely, your brain is much more receptive and alert to social signals. Yet it gets worse at interpreting them correctly. You pay more attention to others but understand them less. The part of your brain that recognizes faces becomes more likely to categorize neutral faces as hostile, making you distrustful of others. Loneliness makes you assume the worst about others' intentions towards you. Because of this perceived hostile world, you can become more self-centered to protect yourself, which can make you appear more cold, unfriendly, and socially awkward than you really are. If loneliness dominates your life, recognizing the cycle you're in is the first step. An initial feeling of isolation leads to feelings of tension and sadness, which makes you focus your attention selectively on negative interactions with others. This makes your thoughts about yourself and others more negative, which then changes your behavior. You begin to avoid social interaction, which leads to more feelings of isolation. This cycle becomes more severe and harder to escape each time. Loneliness makes you sit far away from others in class, not answer the phone when friends call, and decline invitations until the invitations stop. Each and every one of us has a story about ourselves, and if your story becomes that people exclude you, others pick up on that, and the outside world can become the way you feel about it. This is often a slow, creeping process that takes years and can end in depression and a mental state that can prevent connections even if you yearn for them. Accepting loneliness as a normal, universal human experience is crucial. You can't ignore or eliminate a feeling magically, but you can address its cause. Examine whether you're focusing on negative aspects of interactions and check your assumptions about others' intentions. For example, consider if an interaction with a colleague was genuinely negative or if you added extra meaning to their words. Perhaps the other person wasn't reacting negatively but was just short on time. Next, challenge your thoughts about the world. Finally, reflect on your behavior. Research indicates that addressing loneliness can significantly improve health outcomes. For example, a study published in Perspectives on Psychological Science found that social connections can increase lifespan by up to 50%. Communities and policymakers must take loneliness seriously and implement strategies to foster social bonds. This includes urban planning that encourages social interactions, such as creating parks and community centers, and supporting activities that bring people together, like local sports teams and clubs. On an individual level, building social connections requires effort and vulnerability. Joining groups or clubs that align with your interests can be a good start. Volunteering is another excellent way to meet new people and feel part of a community. It can also be helpful to reconnect with old friends or reach out to acquaintances. Small, consistent efforts to build and maintain relationships can make a significant difference. Technology, often blamed for increasing loneliness, can also be part of the solution. While social media can sometimes exacerbate feelings of isolation, it can also help maintain long-distance relationships and connect with like-minded individuals. The key is to use technology mindfully, ensuring it complements rather than replaces face-to-face interactions. In educational settings, teaching social skills and emotional intelligence from a young age can help individuals form and maintain meaningful relationships throughout their lives. Schools can play a crucial role by fostering environments where students feel connected and supported. Workplaces, too, have a role to play. Creating a culture that values and encourages social connections can improve employee well-being and productivity. This might include team-building activities, encouraging social interactions during breaks, and creating spaces where employees can connect. Ultimately, addressing loneliness requires a multifaceted approach that includes individual efforts, community support, and policy initiatives. Recognizing loneliness as a significant issue and taking proactive steps to combat it can lead to a healthier, happier lives. Loneliness isn't just a personal issue, but a societal one. As we continue to build our modern world, we must remember that our need for social connection is fundamental. By fostering environments that promote genuine human interactions, we can create a society where everyone feels connected and supported. Legal disclaimer: if you feel unable to solve your situation by yourself, please try to reach out and get professional help. It's not a sign of weakness, but of courage. Whether we view loneliness as an individual issue that needs solving to create happiness, or as a public health crisis, it deserves more attention. Humans have built a world that is nothing short of amazing. Yet none of the shiny things we've made can satisfy or substitute our fundamental and biological need for connection. Most animals get what they need from their physical surroundings. We get what we need from each other. We need to build our artificial human world based on that understanding. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.